Good afternoon, 12:23 on a whatever day this is, Wednesday. All right. Last night, did a YouTube for whoever comes in and hear this stuff or pay attention to my mouth on something on the Black Hebrew YAHSHARALITEs teaching on a 400-year prophecy terminology from one verse and giving it as the authority of what's going to happen in 4 months, with a lot of speculation to go with it. And so there are people out there, not myself only, my friend Don Bird on Facebook has done, I think, a couple of whatever y'all call them, Facebook feeds or live stream on it, and brought out some great points so far. It's probably me and him gonna do some more later on today, I guess. We get it together. But right now I'm just doing another YouTube from yesterday, and I think this is it for me on this one. I'll make this two YouTube short. That's it, because there's no need to run around with this. And all I can do is sit back and wait till January 2019 to see what happens if I'm living, or if you're living, to see what's going to happen with this subject. 400 years of slavery. Now, as we brought out some points yesterday, to I don't want to go over yesterday's YouTube, but the problem is with the whole subject is that the substance and the sojourning was physical and literal terminology, that they sojourned literally. They came out with great substance, literally, stuff, silver, gold, other stuff, I guess, came out of Mitzrayim with those things. And then he told Abraham in Genesis chapter 15, Abram 15:13, that from the fourth generation. Now, in the fourth generation, it can't calculate to 2019 from the day Abraham was being told this. That is what we call impossible. Say it again. That is impossible. The fourth generation from when Abraham was told this to 2019. Now, we can try to dive in the word 430 years in Shemot chapter 12, 40 and 41, but I obviously didn't see, or I haven't watched every YouTube on this subject and topic and teaching. But Acts chapter 7 verse 6 goes back to the 400-year terminology. So then in Acts chapter 12, if it was 30 years longer, well, see, we're going to be here 400 literally. So I was just correct. But you ain't proved nothing yet. You got 4 more months to go. Because if it passed 1 minute after that 400 years, in time-wise, you in the same place that you trying to jump on, saying that they wasn't there for 400 years. They was there for this certain amount of time. They did it for this certain amount of time. But here's the catch, as I said yesterday. They left. Yeah, my favorite team on the day. That's right. Dallas Cowboys. And since I live in New York City, I started rooting for them New York Jets last couple of years. Let me get that out there. But anyway, how they left with real substance. They left with gold and silver and cattle and everything. Ooh-wee. Y'all talking about, well, one person I watched, very popular people, very, intellectual, smart people, do a lot of teaching on the scattering and the Hebrews, but it's not really a lot of, it's the same teaching that all y'all do. Law, statutes, and commandments, reading the Old Testament, this and that, trying to go back to this and that, and revert the wheel again, and blah, 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 blah. Then get in the New Testament and just start condemning Shaul if he says something against what you want to keep doing. That's all. And then your eschatology is all screwed up, so then that's another problem. So we just, it's problem beyond problem, just keep having a problem. But your genealogy, I'll say it again for the 50,000th time, I am not a black, Negro, colored, African American, etc., etc., etc. Understand that and got that. Agree with that through studies. Plenty of books on the subject, Kindle, blah, blah, blah. Some of them ain't even Israelites. Here's the point, though. But in the fourth generation, they shall come hither again. Come hither again. For the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. Now, y'all ain't said nothing about no iniquity nor Amorites in Bereshit 15:13. Y'all ain't say nothing about no iniquity of the Amorites today. Ain't no Amorites today. Ain't no Amorites today. All right. 15:16 follows up 15:13. There be a stranger in the land, thy seed, and here they shall serve them and afflict them 400 years. And I will judge them afterward, and they shall come out with great substance. I said yesterday to YouTube, the guy talking about the spiritual. This don't say nothing about no spiritual coming out. First of all, where's the iniquity of the Amorites? It's not yet full. But in the fourth generation, they shall come hither. Fourth generation, it completely cannot be whatsoever close to 1619, 219, 20,019. Oh, and by the way, I was reading stuff and finding out stuff this morning that this 400-year prophecy started with YAHSHARALITES in the 1960s and 70s. It was prophesied that I believe that this was supposed to happen in 1973 or 79, if I can't remember the quote, etc., etc., etc. But this prophecy terminology with the YAHSHARALITES started in 1960s, 1970s. Not before then, there was no such thing as no 400-year prophecy about slavery coming out of America. This 1960s, 1970s, a guy or somebody teaching this stuff that knows this stuff because they were black Hebrew YAHSHARALITES way back then, and that person was taught this, so he knows this, etc., 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 and this is what was going on in the 70s. In the 70s, we know we had the black power, we had the daishikis, the afros, and all that good stuff. So, and then if you was a Christian, and you're still a Christian now, and you're a I made a mistake. You're a BHI now. You used to be a Christian. Your grandmama was a Christian. But now you're a BHI. Y'all wasn't being taught no blackness stuff about no coming out of no slavery when you was Martin Luther King didn't even talk about that one. And you wasn't going to hear that. I was telling my friend Don. As a Christian, growing up as a Christian, people, black, if you want to use that word, black. How you going to hear about a 400-year prophecy when you in the Christianity don't even let black people think, pretty much, when it comes to their own nationality? That's what me and the Israelites, Yehudim, agree with, to talk to them about that. But when you as a Christian, you're not going to hear this. The FOI, the Fruit of Islam, and Farrakhan, and the rest of them boys was probably saying this stuff, maybe the Muslims back then and whatever. But you a Christian, you got your head straight. Cognitive dissonance. Block that out. Jesus. You don't want to hear nothing. So how you gonna know nothing about some 400-year prophecy with some Israelite thinking and Israelite talking when they Christians and blacks talking about Jews? So that's impossible for them to hear that and know none of that. I mentioned this to one of my friends who was a Christian, and he said, what are you talking about? Why? How they going to hear that? How they going to know that? Nobody's saying that in Christianity. Nobody's saying that in the pulpit. Nobody got a three sermon on that. We leaving America. And we going back to the land where the Jews are. Whoa, wait up. This is going to be something. Oh, my. But they left with great substance. Well, I got some notes. I'm going to try to cover some stuff. And not only they left with great substance, people left with them. Well, we're going to get to Shemut, Exodus, chapter 12, before the famous 40 and 41 verse. Oh, no, not the famous 40 and 41. Yeah, the famous 40 and 41 verse, where they concentrated on the 430 years when they finally left in the calculations. But, as we know, fourth generation cannot impossibly land to 2019. That's impossible. That's just impossible, folks. Okay, that's calculations that'll never work. Points in Genesis 15. Oh, by the way, let me say this also before I get to Shemut. I'm gonna lose the verses. I'm going a little too fast here. Y'all have not spoken about the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. I know the words y'all gonna like is that it's not yet full, because that's what y'all eschatology is always about. That ain't fulfilled yet. So y'all like that part right there. It's not yet full. Y'all like that part, because then you can just say with nothing again, just ambiguous. It will be full, but it's not full. It's just the same old stuff. And you know how my blood gets rushing with that. Never held accountable or nothing. But y'all got 4 more months and y'all going to be held accountable for sure. Because y'all the one teaching it. The Jews, the Christians, the Muslims today, the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Mormons, nobody else, whatever, all these little religious. Ain't nobody saying about that. It's just the YAHSHARAL. You the one saying it. You one held accountable. And you YAHSHARALITES who will listen to other YAHSHARALITEs, so-called, and you don't agree with them, why you ain't saying nothing? If you don't agree with me on the YouTube, or you agree with me more or less, say something to him. Oh, that's my IKEA, I can't say nothing to him. What is this lovey-dovey stuff where you can't approach another person who claims their identity? You approach me on these YouTubes, if they ever get out, you gonna come at me. Well, you ain't all key. Why? Because I don't hold to your law, statutes, and commandments? Who gives you the rightfully to judge to say who's not, who's what? Because I don't wear tassels and fringes on my shirts. Cowboys with fringes and tassels on the bottom of the shirt. My. Points in Genesis 15, it was because the promise he made to Abraham, he brought them out of slavery. It was a promise he made to Abraham. Doesn't that sound ironic to the promises that he made and Yahushua made to them that he was going to come back in the 1st century? And they said in 1st or 2nd Kepha, whatever, I forgot what it is, where's the promise of his coming? That's the reason why he brought them out of slavery from Egypt, because he made a promise to Abraham. That's it. That's what it's all about. That's what happened. Just like he promised he was going to return in their generation. Promises. Yahushua. I'm going to skip the name. Yahuwah, Yah, when he makes promises, he don't break them. Yahushua, when he makes promises, he was going to destroy the nation of Israel physically, 8066 to 8070. He ain't break his promise. Y'all can say he partially did and all that. You can say what you like. They don't break their promises. That is their promises. As we say in the street, my word is my bond. Their word is their bond. That's the scriptures. How about that? Bam. That's the Old Testament from coming out of slavery in Egypt. But they were they was captive in, we know, Assyria, Babylon. We know it was not just Egypt. But the prophesied Abraham 400 years is not in Babylon, it's not in Syria, it's in Misra. And it came out with great substance, gold and silver. Psalms 105:37. Psalms 105:37. Silver and gold brought them out with great substance. Psalms 105 verse 37. The story is repeating what happened back. Psalms is going back to what happened. Great substance. Not spiritually coming out 4 months from now. Not spiritually coming out for 4 months from now. First of all, you're already waking, so you can't use that. That's not going to work. So now we're not coming out. We're just aware of what we've been here 400 years, and we just can continue being awakened to wake other people up. That's what the great substance is. As Don said, he said about they're going to use Hebrews 11. Faith is the substance of things. It is off the charts, man. Because we it's kind of sad, but it's a little pathetic. At the same token, it's not cool. And Christians and whoever else, especially some people I don't even like call it black no more. YAHSHARALITES, Israelites, who, well, used to be Christians or still are, how they going to know about this prophecy? They ain't listening to this stuff. And the only time you're going to hear stuff like this in the inner cities anyway, like California, in the hood, New York City, where in the hood, stuff like that around here. You ain't going to hear there's no suburbs where black folk live and they Christian, in the little countrysides and stuff like that. Please. Come on. Oh, man. And the people that taught it in Chicago and Detroit and in the cities, Israelites and people that's from back in the days and living in the inner cities and Washington and stuff like that. Come on, man. Church folk just going to church. They trying to get their life together. They ain't nothing about it. They would love to, going through the hard times in the 60s to hear a message like that. We getting out of here. Of course that would have played well in the 1960s and the 70s. Of course. Biting dogs and beating them and all that stuff, of course. But remember, they went back. He said, you're going to bring you back hither. Genesis, they're going to bring them back to where? The land of Canaan. Now, that's where I guess y'all saying y'all supposed to be leaving the land of bondage, Israel, metaphorically, that you're supposed to be living the United States of America, the land of your slavery, of our past ancestors to now. We're supposed to be leaving. You got to leave. If you're supposed to be leaving, you should got to leave. There's no excuses a couple of months. Repent now so you don't have to repent later and then try to cover it up. Well, we ain't going to get too many people to repent on it because they already fear people. They ain't changing no teaching, no doctrine, no YouTube by me or Don or no Facebook or nothing else. Or they ain't there. You know how I feel about the eschatology. They ain't changing the foreign prophecy either. We just put the doctor spin on it, the Hebrew spin on it. We ain't changing. We don't want to admit. Now, we can't call the shots yet. We got a couple more months to go. But we done heard some things before these 4 months already come up. We already got some detours to take already, just in case. So we can start saying this and set this up now. Just like in eschatology and prophecy, when they get busted, they just come out with the famous no man knows the day and hour when they make their predictions. So for smart Christians, I ain't saying nothing. I'm not a date setter. I'm just not a date setter. This is unbelievable, man. In the new covenant, from our ancestors, slavery, with prophecy and slavery in the New Testament, is not coming from a promise from Abraham from the 4th generation in Genesis chapter 15, verse 16. That promise was made to Abram, to the 4th generation, to what's going to come out of Egypt with great substance. In the New Testament, our ancestors who were rebellious. I don't want to get into too much eschatology because then it's gonna get all crazy. But the way I see things, as a full preterist, the fake Yehudim or rebellious Yehudim stayed, and I'm gonna use the word elect Yehudim, and the rest of the believers, Gentiles who were in the faith, Nazarenes, they went home to be with Yahuwah in the 1st century. So who was left being taken in Luke 21, I believe in verse 24, and taken captive to all nation, was the rebellious Yehudim that he prophesied in Matthew chapter 23. O Jerusalem, how often would I have gathered you, the Yehudim, but you would not. I came into my own, and my own received me not. So there's false Yehudim, there's true Yehudim, and somebody was left behind, not left behind series, Thomas Ice, but somebody was left behind. Those are our ancestors because we came from the left behind. We didn't come from heaven, so we came from physical human beings. Yehudim that was taken captive and ran and spread out, that was left behind, obviously. Had to be. Because the way I see it, if he came back, how could the heck you be left behind? When they was eagerly awaiting his return. Look up your redemption drawer of 9. So if your redemption drawer of 9, Luke 21:28, and you still behind, then that means you was the rebellious Yehudim. So we the descendants of the rebellious Yehudim in the first century. So if you want to use this as slavery along with Deuteronomy 12-28 to the bondages of the west coast of Africa into the Americas, then you got to go to the New Testament. And I'll say, to be fair, it comes from the Old Testament as well, obviously, in terminology, if you want to use it. But the New Testament rejected the Mashiach, the false Yehudim, Matthew, chapter 24, the great Eschaton verses of the last things, time of the end, not end times. 24, 23, the proclamation on Jerusalem, how he's going to destroy him. Then we get to Matthew 24. Then we get to chapter 25 with the parables, with the son being sent. Who killed the son? Not the Ashkenazite Jews, not the Edomites, the Yehudim. Set him up with Rome. Then we get to verse 26, he's going to die. And then they said, let his blood be on us. Matthew 27 verse 25. And let his sin be on us and our who? Us and our who? Children. And that would be us. Yehudim today. So if anything, you in slavery and partial with Deuteronomy 28 and other verses with the fathers of our parents rejected Mashiach. Matthew 27, 25th verse. Along with the money-making America, Europe, and the rest of them who made money off of slave labor. Wow. I said a lot right there. But let's get back to some verses. We did the Bereshit. The Genesis. Chapter 15, verse 16. That's the main one. Then we talk about, that's the 400 years. I'm sorry, that's 4 years. They shall be returned here to the land of Canaan. Not stay in the United States like y'all supposed to be believing. But then we got the 15:13 is where the great verse is used, that they're going to go down and be slaves in the land. Sojourn is to travel. Not to be taking the handcuff in the bottom of a boat like a bunch of canned sardines and be taking in some water and throwing off the water and blah, 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 blah. And no passports. They sojourn. Traveling. Oh, man. But guess what? When they were leaving out of Egypt, out of slaves, you black Hebrew YAHSHARALITES, y'all supposed to be going back to the land of promise, land of Canaan, which we call, what they call YAHSHARAL or Israel today, and you're supposed to be going back literally, not symbolically, then people are supposed to be going with you. According to Shemot, chapter 12. Well, let's start reading some more. Already 23 minutes. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moshe, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and remnant, clothes too. They ain't borrowed. Yahuwah opened their heart and gave them favor, and these people gave them blessings because he already told you you're going to leave with great substance anyway. That was already prophesied. So they was getting jewel, gold, and everything. Watches, TVs, all kind of stuff. Cable wires, set up cable. They were getting all kind of stuff. Cattle, all the stuff that was important of their day, they got the best. To leave. Until hard behind Pharaoh started chasing them being stupid, but they still left with the stuff. They ain't stopped the substance. But y'all talking about y'all leave. If y'all do leave, and we don't know if you're going to leave or not, but y'all ain't leaving no substance. Well, wait a minute. How's that going to add up with the scriptures and they left with great substance? It says great substance. They probably couldn't even carry it. No U-Hauls back then. U-Haul mules. That's it. Come on. Wait a minute. Well, let's get to some more verses. Exodus chapter 12, verse 38. And a mixed multitude went up also with them. Boy. Y'all only got Yasharel going back to the land of Canaan from Abraham in Genesis chapter 15-13. Y'all only got Yasharel in the United States. Matter of fact, pretty much. going back to the land of Canaan. A mixed multitude? So how many are y'all prophesying this too though? In 400 years from now, 4 months from now, y'all prophesying the mixed multitude gonna leave, right? Exodus 12:30, the mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks of herds, and every much cattle. Y'all gonna have but y'all gonna have Beamers now. Beamers, Mercedes, Acura like I got. That's great. I'm gonna put my Acura in there. Y'all gonna bring y'all coming out with that. 12:40, Exodus. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years. We went over that yesterday. Is it 430? Is it 400? It still can't be the fourth generation to 2019. That's impossible. So you better get that figured out, because that fourth generation don't lead up to no 2019 from Abraham, who said they're gonna come out. The seed in the fourth generation with great substance cannot be 2019. That's impossible. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the self-same day, it came to pass that all the hosts of Yahuwah went out from the land of Egypt. So that's a literal thing, though. Went out physically from the land of Mitzrayim. Y'all got to leave then. Y'all got to leave. I'm get them to play a little side debate on 400, 430, 160 years, 280 years. This one's birth, this one's death. To the Pharaoh, the new Pharaoh came who didn't know Joseph. So I played little side games. No. No, you got 4 months to literally leave. Literally leave. Not symbolic, not allegory, not figurative. You know, like you do your 1,000 years is a literal 1,000. You got to leave literally. 12:43. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat therein. Oops, stranger. Y'all got to be leaving. Y'all got to have a stranger. Y'all better start talking to somebody out there, stranger. Can't be all our keys. Getting prepared to go. Got to be some strangers. That's verse 43, 12:45. A foreigner and a hired servant, that's two, shall not eat of the Passover. A foreigner and a hired servant. Now the hired servant could be a Hebrew. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I'm just putting that. Maybe the hired servant could be a Hebrew. They got the number there, 79:16 in this particular translation. 79:16 for anybody who look up a hired servant. 79:16. But a foreigner, 84:53. Hebrew. Now the Aramaic. Look them up. Verse 12:48. And when a stranger shall sojourn, a stranger sojourn like they sojourn to Mitzrayim. When a stranger sojourn travel with thee to keep the Passover of Yahuwah, let all his males be circumcised. Boy, y'all better tell these people when they coming out with y'all that they gotta be circumcised. These Gentiles, nations, and peoples, the goyim, and let them come near and keep it, and they shall be one as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcision person shall eat thereof. This ain't talking spiritual here now. This ain't talking about spiritual circumcision here, because y'all might flip that in there and get the Hebrew spin on it. But that's talking about circumcision of heart now. We in the New Testament. Excuse me. Exodus chapter 12:49. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, Yehudim, Akis, and unto the stranger that sojourn among you. One law. Ain't no law for no Gentiles. The law is only for Israel. Did he give the law to the other nations? No. He gave the law to Moshe on Mount Sinai. But anybody who sojourned with Yasharel, one law for them and the stranger. Some of these don't even want no Gentiles to be involved with their stuff. Only Israelites. Remember how I feel about that? He only died for Yasharel. How you gonna have strangers join among Israel under the law, one law, but he only died for Yahshua when you get to the new covenant? My, man. 1251. And it came to pass at the selfsome day that Yahuwah did bring the children of Israel out of the physical land of Egypt by their armies. Not symbolic. Physical land of Egypt. Not symbolic. Okay, let me see the notes. I'm going crazy at 1311. Who are you bringing out when you leave? Who are you bringing out? Who's going with y'all 4 months? Physically, literally. Remember, y'all like physically, literally, when it comes to the word 1,000. Don't forget it. Now you're going to use your literal and hermeneutic and terminology, because this was literal. This is not symbolic. They didn't leave with symbolic substance. They left with literal substance. No allegory, no figurative similes and all this other stuff. No, it's not a parable. To justify to wipe it out 4 months from now, if it doesn't come to pass. So we can just move on and just keep teaching and say forget about it. We didn't make a mistake. This stuff is for the black Hebrew YAHSHARALITEs, people who follow these people and believe a lot of teaching with no reserve, no Acts 17:11. You the one gonna have to go, man, I'm out. That's it. If you got me on this, what else did you get me on? When you was a Christian, you say that after you came out. Condemning all the Christians, you gotta have the same thing for the BHIs. For you laity Akis. That's a new one. For you laity YAHSHARALITEs. All you do is do all the listening. Sit down. Start trouble now. Okay. 400 years, 1619 to 2019, Countdown to Nowhere. I put up my man Don Preston's book yesterday, but basically that's really dealing about the Jews and when they start tricking and the Christianity start the 1948 Countdown to Nowhere. That's the cover of his book. The cover of his book is 1948 Countdown to Nowhere. Y'all gonna have a book that says 1619, 2019 Countdown to Nowhere. BHI is abbreviated. Signed captains. Not Don Preston, signed captains. This is, come on, man. I mean, some of this, you don't get a chip on your shoulder. You don't feel good about. Some of this is kind of heartbreaking. It's like, yo, somebody wake up, please. Spike Lee movie, wake up. I know we awaken with the genealogy. I'm going to squeeze my brain here. Oh, we waking them up. We waking them. But did you let everything else go? You just rock you to sleep. It's just, why? Wake up. I mean, say, hold on a minute. No more Kool-Aid, Hebrew iced tea. I already had Christian Kool-Aid. I don't want no more Hebrew iced tea. Katiyash, you know where I'm coming from. I said it to her, a friend of mine. So we trying to awaken some of the YAHSHARALITEs who have been awakened in their genealogy, but sleeping in their pillows with pretty much everything else. Or being Hebrew iced tea and all these other doctrines I'm trying to cover. Now I hope y'all ain't got no more, because I'm going to get my stuff to get prepared to get after this law or Torah subject after the eschatology. Then I'm going to come back with question 82 that I got to finish up to 214 about the pre-millennial dispensation and all back to that after the 400-year fallacy. Then we got to get back to the original eschatology fallacy. That neither some of the people that's teaching on against the 400-year prophecy, their futurism coming eschatology is still botched. So they got the 400 years, they jumping on the BHIs and they Israelites, and they jumping on BHIs about it, but they still a future eschatology. He's coming back soon. Oh my gosh. I can't, I give up, man. I can't. You find somebody, you think they're hitting a home run, and then you throw them a slider away from the plate, and they swing at it all bat and they strike out. That's baseball, and I got a football shirt on from baseball. Baseball's still going on, though. That's right. Let's go Yankees. But the point of the matter is, this hurts sometimes. I was telling my man Don Bird earlier today, this hurts sometimes. Because you're reading the scriptures, like I get with the eschatology. You're reading the scripture, you're wondering, what in the world? How can a fourth generation accumulate to 2019? Then I'm asking Katya, I'm going to have to ask my wife, I'm going to have to ask this person, how can that accumulate? I don't want them to get too deep with it. Then you can't ask the Christian because they're going to get offended if you say something about black, how about Hebrews and our keys, and you can't go to nobody and everybody's sensitive. And I'm going to have a new motto coming up soon. I already said friend or foe. I'm going to share what I know. That's stone. That's my path. Then I'm going to have a new one. This is like in the business world. This is business. It's not personal. Because that's what you're going to say to me when you go off, when we do the Facebook stuff. Whatever. I already told my man Don yesterday, this is some, whatever they said to him, knocking him, forgot what they called him. Some dummy that whatever, because he ain't singing a violin. Of course you're supposed to do that. That's all preparation to be attacked. That's a normal reaction to when you go against the grain, when you're supposed to be saying such and such and such and such, and you ain't saying it, like me with the full preterism. And full preterism ain't no scripture. Ain't no full futurism or confusion, no scripture neither. The word future to them is in scripture. Oh, we got future though, it's future. Yeah, future to them. Alright, so get out. Yeah. Of course you can go against the grain. I go against the grain with a lot of stuff. Not to be purposely going against the grain. I just don't see it. It's just stuff that was shoved in my mouth like on a baby in a high chair. With a little bit more, eat this, eat this, eat this. No, you get older, you get a steak, some potatoes on there, some greens or whatever. You put some stuff up in there, get a man, get some shoulders. Bam, start working out. You know what I'm saying? Get a grown man. Treat me like a little 5-year-old. 4-year-old, get up in the high chair. This is what religion does. This is what camps do. This is what whoever, that's what they do. It's back to the same thing, just switch capes. But you're not allowed to challenge. You're not allowed to question. You're not allowed to do nothing. Just sit down. Hebrew laity. My new word, Hebrew laity. You used to say you're a laity Christian. You wasn't called by God. God. And that's laity. You wasn't called. You wasn't anointed and appointed, and you wasn't ordained. 29 years of this stuff, or 30. From Christian now to BHIs, back to Christians or whatever, from friends and foes, family members. It's a lot. I need to go out there and get one of them protein meats, the little things that eat the beef or whatever. Oh, they better be pork. A little beef or whatever, and get it and get some protein, because this is tough, man. This is tough. And the Black Hebrew YAHSHARALITES, I'm about to close this out. Me and my 40 minutes, it's like 40 years of generation. Last night you two, I think 50 minutes. Good gracious. I feel really bad, and I'm trying to, me and Don be talking on the phone. We're praying that Yahuwah, through Yahushua HaMashiach, by the Ruach HaKodesh, will wake and have someone to have ear, not fear, to say, wait a minute, in 4 months, if your behind is wrong, you in trouble. And we hoping that that's be the consequences of a YouTube, a Facebook, etc., to kind of give them a shake, rattle, and roll, to say, listen, just because you found out your genealogy, and just because you saying Shabbat Shalom, just because you're buying a dress with fringes or whatever, and the male wearing fringes, or the male, I forgot, and you got to be wearing that don't mean that everything you being fed has to be valid or true. I ain't say everything you being fed is wrong. I just said that you got to do your Acts 17:11. That applies to you as a faith believer, hopefully in Yahushua HaMashiach, not just your genealogy. I have to say that from now on, because Yahushua HaMashiach pretty much went out the window. Genealogy. No gospel. Derek, calm down. And we've taken Yahushua HaMashiach to, like, I mean, for the people that's believing and following these camps and no camps and hearing all this dogma, these guys, man, these guys look forceful. They look like they play for the Raiders. The Raiders played the other night, a Monday night, and the guys I see in the stands look at the guys I see in the corner. I mean, brutal looking. I mean, straight up street stuff. I gotta talk like that. That's how you get it. You get it like, yo, what's up? That's how you be looking. That's how they be looking. But they got, they wish they call the Bible. Scripture in your hand. With all things, the whole covenant with war, killing. Let's go. I bet you ain't no turn the other cheek. But that's Christian gospel. I thought they were New Testament Yehudim. I thought they were Israelites. It's a Christian gospel now. When you don't agree with them, they call you a Christian. When you don't agree with them, how sweet that is. We know the what do you call it? The straw man. Oh yeah. Red herrings and all type of different terminology people use to play games. Call you a Christian when you don't agree with them. Well, you can call me what you like. That don't phase the scriptures. That don't change nothing. Playing games. Please. This chain from Watchmen and them I brought this from a while. Just don't make me no Hebrew. I got my own genealogy I had before DNA even came out. For all these DNA tests and stuff. From Niger, Ghana. Remember, from Portuguese and Spain, they went to Niger and Ghana from Beni YAHSHARAL. That's where they took them, right? Okay, there you go. All right. Ooh-wee. But what can you do? What can you do? What can you do? You share, you present. You don't get high, halted up and puffed up. You don't know it all, there. You don't got it all, don't know it all. That ain't the way this works. You don't know it all, don't got it all, watch YouTube. That's the way it works. You're going to have difference of opinions. You're going to have different things. You got that in the back of Hebrew scripture, his word scripture. You got that in the back. Y'all say it in the Hebrew Israelite camp. We all don't believe. We got different divisions, blah, blah, blah. I got to bring that quote in. But they got 58 different camps of all around, all these different names. But y'all believe, all y'all agree with law, statute, commandments. All y'all agree with that. So everybody's not at peace with everybody. But certain things like this, 400-year prophecy, this has to be talked about. Especially that the 40 years is officially up a couple of months. So, and there ain't no ambiguous language on here and physical and literal games going on and symbolic terminology already being put in place in the drawer to pull out the card as soon as they get here at 12 o'clock January 1st, then or whatever, and they ain't even got nothing to the day that it was talking about when they came out in Hebrew compared to what the day y'all talking about y'all coming out now. I don't even want to go into all this stuff, man. Perizzo, that's your thing, man. You got that, man. You got that, bro. Bro, you got that. You know what I'm saying? We all share. We can all share doing something, breaking down these mountains. Everybody got to do one thing or everything, cover everything. No. Everybody get a piece. Everybody get a piece of the pie. That's messed up. And everybody claim to be striving for one truth, one thing, blah, blah, blah. It ain't no doggone wall, ain't no agreement, ain't no coming together. It's just the way it is. It's going to be like this when I die. It's going to be like this when your children die. It's just the way it's going to be. That's just the way it is, because we have liberty in Yahuwah. Where the spirit of liberty is, there is Yahuwah. And if there's no liberty, then there's no Yahuwah there. There's nothing there. So, what's the... Well, you just join and shut up. My friend asked me, yo, I'm starting to wonder, what side you on? Oh, that's another point I want to bring out real quick. Wow. Looking at the phone. I was like, what side? 1 Corinthians 3:23. Hello? 1 Corinthians 3:23. Hello? 1 Corinthians 3:23. I'm on the side of Yahushua HaMashiach. Click. End of discussion. End of discussion. For me, speaking for me, I can't speak. Wifey's too. Speak for her on that one. Me, I can definitely speak for her on that one. Me. It. Breath come out, the ruach come out, that's it. Go see Yahushua HaMashiach, get some whipping answer. I'm going to answer him on this one, because no way on this earth, with breath in this body, I signs and join with nobody. Well, he on the island by himself. He a Lone Ranger. I say Yahushua HaMashiach. I love gathering and getting down and talking and having a good time and laughing, playing softball, whatever, going to movies, bowling, whatever it may be. Kind of got nothing to do with no tenants. Signing my name to my sit down, Hebrew laity, Christian laity. Sit down. You ain't. I tell you what it says. You don't tell me what it says. Trying to fool folks into that nonsense. You just left Christianity with that. Go right back into Hebrew with the same thing. Talking about what side am I on? Goofy, what side are you on? Man, I can't believe people. How do you drink that Hebrew Kool-Aid like that? You don't taste it and say, oh, wait, hold on. Just whoop, drink it all. Then come back and get mad. Somebody challenge you. Doggone right gonna challenge you. If it ain't sound, Timothy, make sure you sound doctrine. 4th generation to 2019 is not sound. Now I'm going to come back with the question, because I think I'm going to wait for my man. We're going to do this feed. Then I'm going to come back with the starting question number 82. Because don't forget, we still got some more stuff to be straightened out with the estological questions on the big prophecies. Not just to the Akis, 400 years of slavery in America. You got the big boys coming back in the clouds, coming back soon. Look at the signs, look at the TV, listen to this, listen to the radio. Woo! My. What can you do? Can't stop it. Told a friend earlier, can't stop it. Nobody's going to stop none of this stuff. And there's one thing you can do. You can be indifferent, you can get cast out. You stop money, you may be taken out. That's just the way it goes. You don't play around with nobody's money. These people don't play around with their money. You can play around, but them Palestinians and back to the Palestinian Jews, these boys coming for a month, so y'all might start fighting each other and start making weight. With the strangers and the sojourners with them coming out of America, USSA from slavery, coming back. And then when they get over, they got to be circumcised too, physically. My. People, listen. And you got to read, and more read, and read. And then some more read, and read. And then take the fear out of man out. Then you will be free. Oh, man. Then the truth shall set you free. I'm tired. Got up and had that much sleep. Even though I'm off. Hurt my knee, blah, blah, blah. But that's it. This is business. It's not personal. This is business. This is not personal. But I do hurt my heart. It does hurt my heart. Because I believe that I'm a kind of person that, I was telling my friend that I'm the kind of person that I get very, because I know people been how they, like I've been led, and led astray, dip, dive, and jive, and all this other stuff, and using titles and this and that, and I'm a pastor, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a this, I'm a that, and you just sitting there. And I know how it is. Been there, done that. I was drinking the Kool-Aid. Give me 2 more sugars with it. I mean, I know. But that was 29 years ago. That was what? 29 years ago. So 29 years later, you know doggone well I don't want to hear that. If you expect me to be 29 years later, Yahuwah said, no, enough for him. He can't take it no more. Take him out. Bring him out. Revelation, Hazon 18:4. Come out you from among them. Oops. Come out you from among them. Who was he talking to there? Talking to the real Yehudi to get away from the false Yehudi. He wasn't talking to come out ye from the Edomites. Hazon 18, Revelation 18:4. He wasn't coming out from Edcast, not Jews, who wasn't even in Jerusalem in no first century. So he couldn't have been talking to them. He wasn't talking to the Roman soldiers, come out ye from the Roman soldier. He was talking to the real Yehudim to come away from the fake Yehudim, saying Shabbat Shalom, keeping the Lord's statutes and commandments. Come out ye from among them. Revelation 18:4. Well, wait a minute. That's too much of a challenge now. Yeah, I would think, what am I going to do? You'll figure it out. This is tough, man. This is tough. Anyway, I'm done. Maybe come back with these questions. I'm not coming up on the subject. That's twice. That's two subjects on this is enough for me. That's definitely it. Well, I'll just wait like everybody else, patiently waiting, eagerly awaiting 4 months from now. That's how that's going to work. Eagerly awaiting 4 months from now. All right. As I said, this is business. This is not personal. And this is not condemning. This is just, hopefully, it convicts to convert, to snap out of it by the Ruach, to move on with your life and share with someone else that everything you hear through everyone's mouth, including mine, you go and do your homework and research. 1 Thessalonians 5:21, prove all things. Acts 17:11, and you go and do it. I don't care if my mouth, running my mouth, waving my hands and all this motion and crap. You go and do it with me as well. First me, then them, and then me. That's for you who always say, praise the Lord. I mean, oh, that's for the Christian. Shabbat Shalom. All right? That's what your job is to do. As a believer, hopefully in Yahushua HaMashiach. That is your job to do. Not for somebody else to do it for you. That is your job to do. That's why you got translations in your car, in your phone, in the bathroom, in the dining room, on your job. That's what's for you to do. Take care, people. See you in a little while.